The first presentation that we have this morning is going to be Cibola County. Kate Fletcher, County Manager and team.
Sorry about that. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time today on a snowy, cold, icy day. So I appreciate you, Evan and Brandon, for putting that on together. I know it can be very difficult to get everybody here, and so thank you very much. We do have 3 priorities that we're requesting, and I do have my team here to explain why there are priorities.
Could you speak up a little bit, Kate, for me?
Can you hear? I will yell. How's that? Can you hear me now?
I don't know if it's just mine, but I can just barely. I mean, I'll try turning my volume up. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Yes? No?
Yeah, now I got you.
Okay. Thank you, Senator. So as you see on the slides, we have 3. We have purchase of equipment of a county ambulance. We have purchase and equip sheriff's vehicles. And we also have a huge project. It's the County Road 7 and County Road 8 drainage and road improvements. We have been prioritizing the last 2 years actually on our roads and our infrastructure. We have done 3 bridges, and now we're working on drainage issues across the county. Last year we did County Kitchen, and we also, in March, we're planning to do Zuni Canyon Road. So those are our priorities on our roads, but they are a huge, big part of our county. And we do take our roads extremely seriously for our safety. So at this time, I'm going to bring up my 2 members of our emergency management team, and we're going to talk about Cibola County ambulance request. This is Tommy DeSoto and Dustin Middleton.
Good morning. So we're recently just started a new ambulance service within Cibola County as of July 2nd. And we're able to obtain a couple of used ambulances, one from the tribe of Laguna and then one from Carlsbad Fire. They're both high up in mileage. They're over 100,000 miles. They're over a decade old. Again, both of them were donated, and neither one of them have 4x4 capabilities. We're looking at a spec'd out an ambulance that is 4x4 and will meet our needs to hopefully carry us into the next 10 years.
Do you have any questions?
Let me ask this, because I was over there with the fire department and their overseers. So are you overseen by UNM with your ambulance service too?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So actually, let me add a little bit to this ambulance department. In July, the commission made a decision and directed us to do a 6-month trial for our ambulance department for the outer areas. And this is mainly Blue Water, San Rafael, Lobo Canyon, San Mateo, all the areas literally very close to the city. We do have our certification, and we will be billing. We are billing. So with that, we had to scramble, and we've been looking at the numbers all these last 4 or 5 months, and we have what we can see now and how we did our fiscal impact. We are confident that this could be a enterprise fund, meaning it's going to be self-sustaining to the amount of calls that we have received. Tommy, how many calls have we had since July 2nd?
Since July 2nd, we've had 320 calls, so we're averaging 80 calls a month.
Which is a lot more than we actually anticipated when we looked at the fiscal impact last year. So that's where we're at with our ambulance department.
And since your county is so big, you just want one? Do you think you can service from Blue Water to Laguna Acoma with just one, or?
Yes, because we have the other ones that we do have that are fully equipped as well.
Okay.
The reason,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's always nice to have a backup.
Yes, always.
Sir.
And if you don't add an S to the language, you can only buy one. So you might want to consider just putting an S on it.
Well, I hear you, Evan. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that. Anything else for Cibola County?
Yes, I got another priority. Sheriff Diaz and Under Sheriff Mares. I'm going to turn this over. These are to do with our public safety vehicles and how we are in need of additional 6.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, senators. Everybody here, thank you for inviting us to this. We do need 6 units. We cover over 4,500 square miles in Cibola County. We have 22 certified deputies. And as you can see, since we took over this administration, our activity, our call outs have almost tripled, quadrupled in our county. So with that in mind, I will turn this over to Under Sheriff Jeff Monas so we can give you the details regarding our units.
So the way the 6 units would be utilized, they'd be a cross between the patrol division and possibly one into investigations. But to fully outfit these or equip these vehicles, the cost of the vehicle, the cost of the equipment, and the cost of our Axon equipment, which we do utilize for our protection and evidence, it's going to be right around that $90,000 to $100,000 range per unit. And that's it. That's to, unfortunately, even from the inception of even this, if this passes, it's a year out if we do full builds like that. So the mileage on these vehicles, we're trying to turn them around at 120 to 150. And after that, we start seeing catastrophic failures on them. And we're doing the majority of the maintenance with our county shop, and they're doing a great job, and they're keeping up with their routine maintenance. But again, the vehicles would see the new radio systems, the full interior cages, the radars, the camera systems is very expensive. But that is, like I said, though, that is already paid for in itself for our protection.
So does the county have you set up on a replacement plan where you replace one or two?
Yeah,
vehicles
so
every year?
it's right about every 3 years. We're so what we'll do, like this last year, thanks to the COG, Evan, and you, Senator, that we were able to purchase 3 vehicles and pay for swap overs, which is old equipment. Because even with that, we're still waiting for that swap to happen now, late November. So that's already 6 months. So, and now we used our LEPF grant to purchase another vehicle, which is also getting old equipment just to get it out on the street faster. But yeah, we're trying to turn them over every 3 years. So right now we're going to be replacing 18 to 20s.
And can I add a little bit more to this? Yes, we do this with our budget. We budget a certain amount of vehicles every single year. And we've done that in the last 2 years with the help of the sheriff and under sheriff. We've also noted in our budget that we've actually decreased our maintenance costs because we're doing a good transfer every single year. So while that's happening, we're reducing the cost of maintenance, which was a huge expense 3 years ago. So this is definitely a proactive move.
Yeah, and just to go a little bit onto what Kate's mentioning is, she had told us when we first came into office that, this is taxpayers' dollars, and we have to know what we're doing with that money. So the auction vehicles that were set forth when we took over, I mean, they were bad transmissions, bad engines, and stuff like that. The 4 vehicles that you see in this picture, there's only 3 there, but we have 4 that are getting swapped out. Those 4 vehicles that are getting the equipment moved out, we're turning over good vehicles for either anybody else in the county to utilize or to be auctioned off to the public to receive decent vehicles. And we have not seen any catastrophic failures due to the good maintenance and stuff that the county shop provides us.
Any questions?
Doesn't sound like it.
All right, the sheriff would like to say one more thing, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yesterday, we had a meeting with coffee with the managers, and we talked about the possibility of closure of CCA facility. And Senator Munoz, I'm sure your ears were burning because we complimented you and Representative Harry Garcia on your heroic efforts and being able to stop that cause from shutting down our CCA facility. As we all know, that's probably going to happen again. Should this facility shut down, that's going to be devastating to the Cibola County Sheriff's, because now we got to think about transport, et cetera, and vehicles. And so another thing is Deputy Joe Remick understood about the layoffs with our coal mine. He advised me that he would offer to hire them on board if they will qualify at CCA to help our community. And I did contact the coal mine. I talked to Angel. She was going to be in communication with the warden, and so they're working on that for our community. But then again, our heart goes out to you. Thank you. We're grateful for all the help you have given us.
I think at the end of the presentation, we need to spend some time and figure out how we're going to handle that.
Yes, I agree, Senator. I think if it would be benefit for all of us if we set up a meeting so we can explain what we know so far and what's been happening around who I've been talking to, who we've been talking to, and what's going on.
Oh, can I say one more thing before nothing? So again, like I mentioned before, that this last rotation of vehicles, we put old equipment into those vehicles to get them out faster because of the mileage. This year, again, the 6 vehicles, they would be receiving the new equipment and new everything in them, because that old equipment is going to get that wear and tear by those swaps. And that's why I said that's going to be about a year out before we even see those from the inception of an order.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much.
I did. Oh, sorry, Kate. I just wanted to recognize that Senator Charlie joined us.
Oh, good
We'll
morning.
go to her for comments after this project.
Okay, thank you. Again, this is our last, but actually extremely important. And I know that, as I said, we actually completed a drainage master plan with the help of COG. We got that done, which really helped us understand what should be our priorities for the flooding. And Edward here is my road superintendent, and he can explain what this problem is. This problem is huge. It's actually in Cabero, and it's County Road 7 and 8. And this project has been looked at multiple years now. We have applied for other funding as well to do this, as it's becoming a danger. Well, it is a danger. So if you'd like to turn to the next page, please, I want to show what those roads look like. So this is County Road 7 and 8 connected. There's actually a connection right there on the top left is the picture. And that drainage that you see right there on the top left is old. It was done by the Corps of Engineers way before in the 80s. So it's deteriorating, it's eroding underneath the road. That's a huge, big issue right there that needs to be addressed. And we have had multiple engineers as well look at it and give us some estimates of what needs to happen. The other 3 pictures are actually what happens when we have rain. And this year we actually had to widen the road with barriers, because if you look on the top right, that is part of the road that's deteriorated, and it's deteriorating in a very quick manner. And we did fix that, but it's a temporary Band-Aid fix. This is not going to last. We have to address it. And so this is one of our priorities that we're requesting for funding.
We're not requesting capital.
Oh, this is a legislative priority, not from capital outlay, but from legislation request. As you can see, the cost, and that's just for that 4 million.
Kate, Senators, Chris Pereira, Wilson and Company, it's probably also important to note that we did do a water trust board application.
Yes.
We've gone through the first 2 rounds. It does look like it's going to get approved, so that'll set the stage for the design to get done and be ready and available for funding, should we be able to secure funds on your end.
Thank you, Chris. And as you can see, we've wrote, the description is plan, design, and construct, knowing that we've applied as well for that planning part. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. There's multiple roads in the county that we will be addressing constantly. We have to prioritize and we have to make sure that we're ready to move on these projects. Bridges have been taking a long time. It takes a long time to get everything in place. I can say that good news, County Road 5 actually put in their bridge, the bridge that we purchased on Wednesday of this week, and it went really, really well. So it looks great. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Any questions before we?
So let me ask, have you guys applied for the emergency funding that's sitting out there? And I think I met with Andrew and them several times, and so they're tuned up to apply for any this flooding that happened during the summer. And there's a fund out there to make these repairs
Yes.
or to do new design if that's necessary. Have you applied for those?
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate you asking me this. So this was not from the flood that we had. That's one. Two, we have the planning is the first part. And we've been working with Wilson and Cog to get that application. We needed to know exactly how much it was going to cost before we actually apply for any other funding in the emergency side. But this road has been like this probably for 5 years, just getting worse and worse and worse. And we were actually just waiting for our drainage master plan to be complete to make sure that we weren't missing anything and the needs of what we needed to do for the drainage, for the floods. Thank you.
I got a printer printing in my ear. So just have you applied or haven't applied for that emergency funding to make those repairs or to fix that road?
Not yet. We applied for the water fund for the actual planning because we need to make sure that we're ready to go and what we actually need. So we have not done that as of yet. And this was not done in that actual flood that we had. This was beforehand.
Yeah, that's all right. And when it was done, but there's money for emergency repairs due to flooding, fire, and there's 10 million sitting out there. And I only know of one application that they mentioned the other day to us at City Hall. And so, Andrew, could you send her Cecia's number, or did they send you the forms for application for that?
Senator, yes, they did send it to me. I'll send it to you, Kate.
Thanks, Andrew.
That application forms.
Yes, I have looked at it and I have spoken to them as well. So we just need to wait for the planning and see if we're going to get the planning so then we can request what we actually need.
Well, do you know the cost to and this may go to the Wilson guy. Do you know the cost for the damage that was currently done? I mean, you can run a cost sheet and expense pretty well.
Chris, do you want to answer that? Because I know it's kind of convoluting.
Yeah, so Senator Kate, we ran some preliminary numbers, and that's how we came up with the kind of the $4 million budget. But we wanted to do a little more detailed work to try to firm up what that number is. As you're well aware, a lot of projects have underestimated what was going to be required for funding, and wanted to stop that trend and kind of have a real idea of what needs to be done and what the real cost would be.
But if you can get some money from that helps us out. So
Why?
Yeah. I mean, if it's 4 million to replace it because it was under designed in the 50-year flood, I mean, look what happened in Roswell. But you guys need to apply for those funds right away. That's why it's important I think for us to meet once in a while and just kind of chat. I mean, Andrew and Chief Mays, and I went to the school district the other day, and I think it's really good for us just to chat on certain little issues, because there's certain little funds out there that you can always grab and be looking at to try to offset some of these costs. So, if you get $1 million from there, then that's $3 million less we have to do because the money's already appropriated. So just be aware of that. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're done.
Thanks, Senator. Thanks, Cibola County. Before we move to grants, I did want to just lend the floor to Senator Charlie, who joined us.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Angel, and it's great to be here with you all this morning. I'm sorry it's not in person, but appreciate the thought giving to everyone's safety. I'm a citizen of the Pueblo of Laguna, and I live in the Pueblo of Acoma, right in the heart of Cibola. So I really look forward to building relationships with everyone here and learning about the issues in our community, and really appreciate all of your advocacy and work to move our communities forward. Um, I also just want to mention, Evan or Brandon, that I'm on my phone this morning and I can't see the presentations. So I'm going to get out of the room and come back in and see if that makes any adjustments, but I'm having some problems accessing the visuals. Outside of that, I'm here all day. Look forward to learning from all of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Senator. Appreciate that. We'll try to get you a PowerPoint sent over. And appreciate you being with us. Why don't we move on to our next presentation, City of Grants.
Good morning, everyone, Senator, legislature. Today we have 3 projects that we have been going over. And first one is the water improvements, to plan, design, construct wastewater and water system improvements. 2 is the police station renovation, plan, design, construct police station renovation. And 3 is to add an additional fire station, plan, design, and construct the fire station. As far as the water and wastewater system improvements, that's a legislative priority to continue the efforts that we're putting forth right now. We've to date, you have funded about $10 million, not including the USDA loan that we entered into New Santa Fe Avenue, along with the Water Trust Board that we did apply for, and we have used that for our waste treatment plant. That's about an $18 million investment there. So our request is an additional 10 million because of the certain areas that we're creating more and more water breaks. My next slide, I'll give you an indication. The wastewater improvements will provide continued improvement on 75-year-old system, provide economic growth potential, and particularly for the mine if they're shutting down or laying off. And what I got word, they're just doing some layoffs. Providing less water outage situations, and to continue improvement of the wastewater system and the treatment facility that we need to continue working on. Number 2 would be a police station renovation. It would plan, design, remodel police station. We moved into that facility approximately 30 years ago. It's a building that is close to 50 years old. It's structurally still good. We just need to renovate it. We've funded to date about $100,000. We're estimating the project cost about $3 million. We were asking for $2.5 million. We want to make sure that legislature knows that we will be funding around $500,000, $400,000 of our own investment on that. Next slide, please. Police station renovation will provide professional work environment, provide safe work environment. The GPD has occupied this building for over 35 years, and the building is over 50 years. And there's several different pictures that show that, and that's I can forward that slide to each of the legislatures. And then our third request would be additional fire station It'd be to plan and design and construct a additional fire station. Employee safety is utmost, and project cost is about 5 million. We've the state and the city has funded about 800,000 to date. We're requesting 4.2 million. And next slide. We started EMS transport July of 2024. Bay Area dedicated just for medication and narcotic storage, so that took up some needed space for our units to be stored. We increased our personnel from 9 to 21. So as you see in the pictures, it's pretty crowded, and we're kind of on top of each other. Current station 2 is unable to house a new ambulance or a fire truck due to the bay doors are too short. And then again, the age of the fire station is over 50 years old. We did purchase a temporary housing unit for extra personnel that's going to be put behind station 1, which will house an additional 8 people. I'll entertain any questions as far as either one of the 3. I do have my special projects coordinator with me that we'll talk a little bit about for any questions about priority number 1. Priority number 2, my police chief is also on, so she can answer any questions to do with the police station and the renovation. And then I have my my fire chief with me also for any questions that would be necessary for the fire station. I know I went through it pretty quick, but there may be some questions that need to be answered.
Any questions? Must have covered it perfectly, and sounds like full funding for all your priorities. So thanks.
Senator Munoz, it looks like
Yeah, he looks like he stepped away. Appreciate it, City of Grants.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I don't know if my police chief, fire chief, or special projects wanted to add anything.
No, I think the pictures for the fire station, I believe, speak for themselves. We do have 1 fire truck that can run out of Station 2, but as we continue to provide better equipment for the citizens and our personnel, they're just larger. They're built different, and that station, trying to renovate that bay, we're looking at about an estimate of about 1.8 million. And is it really going to be worth it to spend just a little bit? And we still have living quarters to deal with. The one thing about it, if I do build a new station, Station 2, the one you had a picture of, can be a substation, and I can get additional funding from the state fire marshal's office. So it wouldn't just go away. It wouldn't be just torn down. It would be utilized in one way or another to benefit the citizens.
Chief Lucky, you want to add anything on that? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, good morning, Senator, legislation. I appreciate the opportunity. We're super excited. The city manager is correct. We've been in this building for over 30 years. I was actually I had just started law enforcement, and we were on top of the old hill that overlooked the city. And so I was part of that movement to this building. And we have outgrown the building with the times that we're in now. We have very limited space on our offices, and just kind of hinders our production here. If you look at the pictures, you'll see some Connex boxes that are actually inside our garage that we use for evidence, for an evidence room, for our firearms room. So it's just that we've outgrown the area, and I I look forward to your consideration and your assistance. And, I just want to say thank you for that opportunity. I also I missed the beginning part of the starting of the meeting, and I know there were some questions about the mine. My husband does work for Peabody, and we thank God that he wasn't part of the layoff, and we pray for the families that were laid off. And what I do know is there were 45 individuals that were laid off at this time. So I spoke to him again when I got that question about the mine closing. Now they still have contracts that they have to fulfill, which is several years out. So we haven't got word that it's closing. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up. But I do appreciate your time and your consideration. Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate that. Anything else, Andrew?
No, thank you very much for your time. Thank you, everyone. And we look forward to doing this again and maybe getting back to doing it in person. It's seems that weather just kind of hit at the wrong time. But again, thank you all. I do have the mayor here also. He would probably like to speak a little bit on the water, wastewater, how we're moving forward with that. Mayor?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? I appreciate you guys. Good morning. I appreciate you, Senator, for what you have been doing for us in our community. As you drive through our town, you're seeing a lot of construction, and that's due to you helping us in up there in Santa Fe to bring that money to our level. It's one of the biggest concerns that our citizens have been having is our water sewer. So with the funding that you've been providing these last few years into the puzzle that we're trying to piece together with that USDA money that we used, we're going to continue helping our community strive in our infrastructure so we can get some economic success. The police station and the fire station, that's one of my campaigns is to be the cleanest and safest city in New Mexico. And I stand behind my public safety, but there's a lot of renovations, and for us growing on the other side of the infrastructure and economics, we can't forget about our public safety, and it's really time that we upgrade them so we can sustain our future in grants. But I really appreciate your guys' time and effort up there, and anything that you can do as far as on our ICIP. There's a couple other things to consider. Is a lot of equipment so we can get our drainages cleaned up. But our top threes are those three to really move forward in our city of Grants. So I appreciate your time and your consideration and all this up there, and we look forward to talking to you up there in Santa Fe.
And we did apply for the emergency money, so we did have that application turned in for equipment. So we're really looking forward, and then also we appreciate the senator coming down and showing us where there is extra funding available. Roberta's Place, we're doing the same thing there to help our Roberta's Place and get that application filled out. So we're looking forward to moving forward even further in a lot of the areas. Thank you again.
Senator Munoz, I saw you kind of joined us back. Any questions for the city of Grants before we move on?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. We lost power there for a minute. One thing at the end I want to add on is let's talk about behavioral health issues. So let's add that on with the mine and the prison and behavioral health issues to have a discussion about that at the end.
Sounds good. Thanks, Senator. Up next, we have the Village of Milan.
Good morning, senators, representatives, and everybody. My name is Candy Williams. I'm the relatively new manager for the Village of Milan. Been doing this about 10 months, so bear with me. We do have 3 priorities, but we discussed kind of updating you on what we've had funded so far. But I'm going to turn it over to my projects administrator because she truly is the guru that make sure that we follow all the procurement and get what we need. So Ms. Denise Baca is our project.
Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Good morning. I have Gabriela Gonzalez in my office with me. She's our administrative assistant who has hit the ground running. She's been great help. First of all, I would like to thank you all for the past support. You can see on our first sheet there, we've got several projects that are closed out and some that are still ongoing. To touch on some of them, the sewer system improvements, that's ongoing and is actually getting ready to go out for bid next week. Willow Pinon, we finally were issued all of the grant agreements and we're getting ready to start the design on that one as well. Public Works equipment, we've gotten this one for a few years in a row now. Public Works is more than happy. They're very grateful for the equipment that they've gotten. We've gotten a jetter trailer, camera system, some new vehicles, dump trucks. It's been a great help. The Parks program, as you can see, we received the complex playground money this year. We have procured that. We're just waiting for installation dates right now. If any of you attended the pumpkin patch last week or a couple weekends ago, you were able to see the new baseball field with all the money that you guys have put into it, as well as the recreation playground equipment that was placed out there this past year. So we're grateful for everything that you guys have done for us in the past. Moving on to our top 3 priorities this year. So our top priority is, of course, the Milan swimming pool. We continue to work on that swimming pool. It's aged out and we were hopeful that we would be able to complete it with the funding we received this past year. However, when we started with our engineers in the design process, we were notified that there's some major improvements that need to take place. Not just appearance wise, but the entire front portion of the building was actually deemed unsafe. So with our first request, that'll be the pool, to plan, design, renovate, and repair. It serves all of our community as well as several surrounding communities. We are requesting an additional 7 million. So to go back on the funding, in 2020, we received 417,000. That was pre-COVID. COVID hit as we were designing that portion, and the cost of metal, of course, shot through the roof. So what we were able to do with that first portion was, the first amount of money was to re-roof the middle building, which is actually the center of between the pool and the family fun room, where all of the HVAC units sit, and the mechanical room, which is the pumps, motors, all of that, where those 2 rooms sit. We were able to roof that portion for that amount of funding, as well as obtain a couple of new HVACs and a new swamp cooler for that area as well. In 2024, we received the 2.56 million, and of that amount, we have committed 330,000 so far. As the Wilson and Company team was looking at designing, they did a destructive investigation, and that's where we found all of the issues with the front portion of the building. So we have a major funding shortfall on that because of that portion of the building that needs to be repaired. Do you guys have any questions on the pool?
How much have we appropriated over time on the swimming pool? Because I'm looking at one of my spreadsheets from 2024, which is 417,000 under my name. But over time, I thought, did we give like 4 million to all that to the pool?
So to date, we have received 2.9. If you can see that second to the last line, there's the 2,977,000.
Mhm.
We have been able to obtain that funding, and we're starting to work on it with what we have. But unfortunately, that building is made out of steel. So it's kind of killing us to replace some of that as well.
And isn't it cheaper to build a 10 million, a new swimming pool for 10 million? I don't know. I'm
Um,
asking.
That's a good question. I don't know what a new swimming pool would cost, but I do know that the front portion of the building that houses the locker rooms and the showers and restrooms, that portion of the building will have to be built new. So part of this funding we're requesting will go to that.
I'm just I explore that a little bit because it's cheaper to get 7 million to build a new pool, and I'll just give you like Gallup filled in one of their pools and they put pickleball courts in them, and so I just look at that for me.
Okay, definitely will. Any more questions on the pools? Okay, our second priority is Stanley Road and bridge improvements. So this project is actually designing and first portion of the construction is being funded by TPF. That would be the bridge, the pedestrian bridge walkway, as well as the CBC, which is the portion you drive over for the Rio. If you can look at that picture there right now, what we have out there is basically two culverts under some asphalt, and it's not working the way it's supposed to. This project, what we're requesting for the second phase is 4.5 million. That will get us pavement all the way to New Mexico 506. So with the 3 million that we've already received, we are applying that towards those two bridges as well as some of the drainage. As you can see, the residents there, when it does rain, and this year we did get a pretty bad flood, some of their houses, their yards do get flooded. We have been lucky it hasn't actually gone into the houses, but the entire roadway sometimes gets pretty hard to pass. So with that, our request for Stanley Road is 4,556,528.
We
Do you
should
have
note
any?
on that one, Denise and Senator, that the design for that phase is complete, so it's just a matter of money for construction.
So when you're doing these, are you applying for the STIP too from DOT? Do you know
We
what
are.
that is?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we were actually very hopeful that we were going to get phase 2 funded through TPF, since that's what funded phase 1. But instead we were given the funding for Willow Pinon instead. So that kind of put a new project on our design team and took the existing project and kind of put it on the back burner, which unfortunately we're going to have to look at other options for funding for the second phase.
The second phase of this road.
Yes, correct.
Stanley, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm good. If you want to keep moving.
Okay, project priority number 3 is Tejan Street. I've asked for this one a couple of times in the past and haven't been successful. This one is hopefully start planning, designing, and some of the construction, replacing utilities, correcting the drainage. The water sewer drainage on that road is aged out, reaching the end of their life. Multiple residents live along that roadway. There are no sidewalks. There's a couple of bus stops, I think 4 in total bus stops along that road as well. So this one is much needed. What we're requesting for that to get it started is 650,000. We do have a couple of extra projects in our priority list. So we do have number 4, heavy equipment purchase. This is an ongoing project for the village of Milan. Our public works is constantly needing equipment. We try to buy as much as we can with our budget, but as you know, the village is very small. Our budget isn't very big for the amount of residents that we have living here. So what we are looking for is possibly a couple of riding mowers for our parks. We want to keep those as nice as we can. We also are looking for a bucket truck and a sweeper. That sweeper there, what it does is it picks up the grass after it's been cut, as well as leaves and sticks that are blown around from the trees. And then for priority number 5, we're looking at placing some outdoor workout equipment at Maribel Park. I took a picture of some that are at one of the Albuquerque parks. And we have a couple of vendors that have reached out with some really nice equipment that we would love to put at Maribel Park. A lot of people use that for exercise, walking, jogging. It has the path around it. Beautiful grass. So if we could utilize that as an outdoor workout area, it'd be great. Do we have any questions? Okay, I thank you guys for your time. We appreciate you guys joining us virtually. Unfortunately, our weather has been pretty, but it's very cold and hard to travel in. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Denise. Thanks, Candy. Thanks, Village. Up next, we have Raymond Navajo chapter. I know we're kind of ahead of schedule here, so hopefully everybody's on the line. I think Debbie is here, so Debbie, take it away.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Senator Munoz, Evan, Brandon, and all the legislatures. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present our 3 projects for Raymond Navajo chapter. Our first priority is going to be plan and design new police station. That's to plan and design a new police and dispatch building in the town of Rama, Navajo chapter of the Navajo Nation in Cibola County. The second one is going to be renovate and repair warehouse training facility. That's going to be to renovate and repair the interior of the existing warehouse facility to provide for emergency management, distribution, training, and storage to accommodate the Raymond Navajo community of 3,500 in the town of Raymond, Navajo chapter of the Navajo Nation in Cibola County. The third one's going to be a new modular office building for Community Development Department to acquire and replace an existing modular building for the Raymond Navajo chapter in the town of Raymond, Navajo chapter of the Navajo Nation in Cibola County. Next slide. Our priority 1 is going to be for, as you can see on this picture, for a new police station. It's shovel ready. We just need the plan and design to start. We did include it in the ICIP, and it pretty much serves, if not over, 3,500 residents. The total project cost is going to be $500,000. And that's what we're requesting from capital outlay. Next slide. That's going to be, the second priority is going to be to renovate and repair this warehouse training facility. Again, it serves a little bit over 3,500 residents, and the total project cost to renovate it and fix it up is going to be about $2 million. Next slide. The new modular office building is going to be replacing an existing building, so it's just ready. It's just to be purchased and replace an existing building. This office building serves a little bit over, again, 3,500 residents. We projected the cost of a new building to be $250,000. And that's our top 3 priority for Raymond Navajo chapter. Do you guys have any questions?
Adrian. So you said that the police substation is ready to go.
Yes.
Then you said you need a plan and design money.
From what I was told, the presenter for this substation is not present. From what I was told, it's shovel ready. The land has been withdrawn, but they just need money to pursue the plan and design. I believe they have everything in order. They just need the money to start the plan and design for it. I think most likely this will be in phases later on. But right now, I was just told it's just for a plan and design.
Okay. I guess we need to figure that one out because I need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most likely, the people who will attend to lobby for this in January or February, they should be able to have more information for you and explain the whole project situation at that point for you.
The problem is these are due the first to the middle part of December for the legislative and the executive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
it's a little bit, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's a little bit complicated of how things are situated right now with staff. With the new election and everything on Navajo Nation, there's a little bit of shift of responsibilities and roles already. So I'm pretty sure that, the chapter will have answers for you to pursue this.
okay, so yeah, I may just have to start. I may have to run down there and talk to them so they can get it together. And then
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at my other letter. So in Cibola, let's see, Chilpaw, Rama, Pine Hill. I thought we already funded this warehouse building completely.
It was in the prior ICIP listing, but it was not funded. Other projects were funded.
I'm just, give me 1 second. And then
Okay.
the modular office building, right?
That was underfunded. I think we had requested 150,000, I believe, but I think we were only funded 50,000. So we're gonna have to reauthorize that. And again, there's a little bit of delay by 6 months because DFA and Navajo Nation had staff turnovers. And they're still kind of working on processing all these projects that were funded by capital outlay. So we're still waiting for the IGAs from Navajo Nation to be approved.
Yeah, we're gonna caution so everybody knows that I'm kind of looking at my list. I can't find Rama Pine Hill on here. But I know I had a whole bunch of stuff that we funded there. I just cannot find it on my list.
Okay.
So
I have a listing here.
Guys. We'll just keep moving. I'll reach out to you guys. But
okay.
the legislature is to the point where we have 6 billion in capital outlay sitting out there and it's not moving. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of reauths, especially for small dollar amounts. And
Okay.
I know this is Big Navajo's problem and how we're going to resolve that with them. But we just have so much capital outlay. I mean, if we take 1 billion, we can make 50 million a year. And so we got to figure out how to get projects moving. And that's kind of how we're going to have to do to
Yeah, we're processing paperwork and on top of what needs to be done on our side, but the big delay is through Navajo Nation. I don't know what's going on up there, but it's really delaying us to get started on the projects we're requesting money on or that we got money on. You know, it's kind of like a deadlock at that point. I know that Navajo Nation, they're supposed to be meeting on all capital outlay projects this month for all chapters throughout the month. So hopefully at those meetings, they'll be able to figure out, you know, the deadlines and how to process, you know, effectively these fundings that are awarded to the chapters.
Yeah, so I'm looking at my capital outlay prior. So I gave money for public building facilities, right? And so I don't know what.
That's just for 50,000, yeah.
No, you have 200,000. And then there was design a wastewater complex. I don't know if that's completed. So I'll just come down and see.
Yes, it would be best to
Okay.
kind of meet, you know, one-on-one because there's a lot of things that happened and there's a lot of gray areas of where the funding's at this point. But I do appreciate and we're very thankful to you for, you know, funding some of our projects, if not, you know, all of them. I do have a listing here of what was funded. And yeah, the modular building was funded for 50,000, but that was it. So yes, it would be best to meet one-on-one on the projects.
Okay.
And I will notify, you know, the tribal officials and the chapter.
Okay.
Great. Well, appreciate it. Thank you, Debbie. Thanks, Raymond Navajo.
You're
for that.
welcome. Thank you so much for doing a great job of organizing this.
Appreciate that. I know we had a scheduled break on here, but I know my legislators like to just push through. So if you're good, senators, we'll just keep on moving. And so I believe our next presentation, I saw Mr. Concho on the line. So the next presentation will be the Pueblo of Acoma.
Yes, first of
Raymond.
all, good morning. Hopefully you can hear me clear.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. I am in the office by myself. Nadine may not be joining us, but again, we just want to thank again the Northwest New Mexico Council of Government and our area legislative representatives. Thank you very much for continuing to allow us to update you all as we continue to address our top priority projects. Going right to the first one. One of the top projects we're looking at, of course, is our updating our Acoma land use plan. Right now, this is second on our list. The number one capital outlay projects on the ICIP, of course, continue to be water improvement projects, but there are a number of capital outlay awards as well as other federal funds that have been allocated to the Pueblo of Acoma. So we want to be able to have our utility authority continue their work and completing these projects before we keep piling on more additional projects. But water here at Pueblo of Acoma is a top priority. So hence we were able to look at other items. We did look at the Acoma land use plan. Basically, as we all know, local governments, be it tribes, city, county, state, we have to continue to upgrade our land use plans and comprehensive strategic plans So this is a priority that leadership has looked at, and we are requesting for 375,000. Going to the second slide or the next slide. This one here is also again to improve our wastewater systems, particularly for the Pueblo of Acoma Sky City Cultural Center. This is right at the base of the historic Sky City. And as you all know, this is one of the top state's tourist attraction. We continue to receive more visitors than even prior to the pandemic. But one of the largest turnouts we always have here at Acoma is during the balloon fiesta. We have chartered buses that are bringing in people to take the tour of this area. So again, this is the facility that has been there. It's well over 25 years. It was newly constructed, but of course, then the attendance and has been lower than it is today. So it's time now to make improvements and expansion on the wastewater system that we have up there. We are requesting for 500,000. Next one. This one here is also to improve the facility. I want to say that every one of you have been at the Sky City Cultural Center and Haku Museum. It's a top attraction, like I said, and of course, visitors continue to come. It's highly used during the summer months and into the fall activities. But again, they do need to make improvements on their heat and ventilation, air conditioning system, as well as plumbing improvements. The need that they're requesting for is at 600,000 to start the design and improvements. Okay, next one. I just wanted to add other items that continue to be a high priority. The one that's listed there, of course, relates to the Acoma Natural Resource Building rehabilitation. This is the facility that's just south of the current Acoma Community Center where the governor's office is at. And this resource building was initially the original administrative building, which goes back to the middle 1970s when that building was constructed. There have been improvements made to the tribal auditorium, but the other offices that are attached to that auditorium do need major improvements. We did receive 1.5 million from the congressionally direct spending, but we feel that there's going to be additional capital outlay that may need to be added once we're able to get engineers on site. Second one, of course, is the SP 38 Haku Road construction project. This one has been awarded with tribal transportation program funds through NMDOT for the design. This design project will be completed this month, and we're safe to say that by the time the legislative session starts, it will be construction ready. The dollar amount that's needed for 12.5 miles of road amounts to 75 million, but that's broken down into 4 phases. Those that are in green are marked so that we have some funds. We do have, again, congressionally direct spending for the road construction in the amount of 2.9 million, and that came out of Senator Heinrich's office. So we'll be going to his office again now that he was reelected and in office to continue to seek funds wherever. The other 2 are in need of funding. SP 38 is the major road fair that goes through the communities of McCarty's, Acomita, on up to Sky City Casino area. This is the major road that does need improvements. We are looking for planning and design funds. We did apply to NMDOT for transportation program funds, but did not get approved. The proposal that we submitted was at 3.2 million. So that's the amount that we'll be looking for if we can add this on to our capital outlay request. Wastewater improvements. Again, the utility authority did say that yes, there's still a need to expand our existing wastewater treatment plant, which is about 1 mile south of the Sky City Casino area. But that one primarily, the treatment facility connects to the community. But then again, like I said, we are a growing population, especially with the visitors that do come across our area, so we need to make improvements on the wastewater treatment plant. The last one that's listed there, of course, relates to equipment. This is also with the utility authority for the need of replacement of our water trucks and tractor, as well as for our public safety. Those vehicles have high mileage, and of course, they do go in the back country road areas, and sometimes it's just not safe, or the roadways are damaged, so they still go out there and just travel all over the place throughout the back country. If I'm correct, that is our last slide. I stand for questions.
Is that a state road or a BIA road?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you. I don't know if it's me or.
I'm sorry, I don't know if it's me or not. And so is that a state road or a BIA road?
It's a BIA road.
Okay, all right.
I'll just add that the road design for the SP 38 Haku Road, it is a BIA road, right of way, but we did also receive state funds for the design. Very similar to our Mesa Hill Bridge project. When the Mesa Hill Bridge project started its design back in 2008, we were able to secure what was then called GRIP 2 funds. And now that I say the Mesa Hill Bridge project, as a quick update to our legislative representatives that are on board, we just want to say that the good news is that design is being updated. It should be completed by the end of this month as well. And we're looking at the bipartisan infrastructure law funds, the bill funds, to secure 100% for construction. So hopefully the next time we talk again after the legislative session, we'll be inviting you all to a groundbreaking ceremony.
Okay, I don't have any further questions.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Raymond, for the presentation and the good news on Mesa Hill Bridge. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Up next, we have New Mexico State University Grants College. I believe Dr.
Good morning. That's okay, Evan. I got you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present on behalf of NMSU Grants Community College. I'm Dr. Marlene Chavez Toyvan, the campus executive here at NMSU Grants. I want to thank the New Mexico COG and our Senators Munoz and Charlie for being here today to hear our legislative priorities. Our first priority is capital outlay for Martinez Hall, and then I'll discuss two other priorities for all of higher education, both recurring and non-recurring. Our first priority, if you want to, is for $2.1 million for Martinez Hall infrastructure upgrades and campus-wide safety. As you see at the bottom, you see two different doors. We have a newer building with the card access that ensures safety of both employees and students. And then you have older doors in Martinez Hall and Fidel and McClure, which do not have the same technology or safety features. And so part of this capital outlay request would be to upgrade all external doors to improve campus safety for our students and employees. In addition to the campus safety, part of this capital outlay is also to renovate campus space to accommodate additional technical professions. As you know, community colleges is more just about than transfer. It's about the skilled trades and technical professions to get students in jobs quicker and faster and into the workforce. Martinez Hall is 47 years old and was built for a different time. And so we are looking for funds to renovate spaces into that's more flexible and adaptable to the technical professions. Next slide, please. And as you see, you can see one classroom as it exists, and what we foresee some classrooms in the future looking at either additional science labs or technical labs like you see on the left. Other higher education priorities that would directly impact NMSU grants would be an increase to the formula funding. All of higher education, we are asking for a 5% increase to formula funding, which would be 42.1 million across all higher education institutions. In addition, compensation, a minimum of 4% compensation for all employees, allowing institution flexibility to implement an average increase. As you know, I know here in grants, it's very difficult for us to recruit talent in a rural community, especially with the public schools paying a better wage than what we can. It's really important that we keep up with inflation and being able to be competitive statewide. We spend a lot of time and effort and money trying to recruit qualified individuals to Cibola County, and this compensation would be very helpful in meeting those needs. As you know, educating the student isn't just about programming and curriculum, it's about student services and basic needs. And since the pandemic, we've seen an increase of need for mental health and food insecurities and housing insecurity and just basic needs in general. 4 million across all institutions would help support the wraparound student support services, mental health, food pantries, programs like that to help students become successful and finish their degrees. We have a food pantry on campus, and we've been very fortunate to receive 2 grants from the higher ed department. However, it's not sustainable, and so we need reliable funding to continue to support students create in that regard creatively. In addition, we also don't have a mental health counselor. In fact, it's hard to even find a mental health counselor in Cibola County because of there's such a high demand statewide. It would be really nice and beneficial to our students if we could have that support here on campus. Qualified faculty is also another concern across higher education, and having supplemental compensation to recruit faculty to come to rural areas is important. For example, nursing programs. Nursing faculty could make much more in a hospital setting than that they could in teaching the program. So having latitude to provide supplemental compensation to faculty like nursing faculty would be very helpful. Next slide, please. Other higher education priorities, of course, dual credit with the current requirement that all graduating seniors, students who graduate high school need a dual credit offering or an AP or an online course. This has really taxed higher education institutions and community colleges to meet their needs because they're choosing the dual credit option, whether they really want that option or not. This will be changing soon for the incoming freshmen this year as that requirement has been lifted, but for the next few years that dual credit requirement is there. And so the community colleges do meet those demands, and we do provide support to students who are taking dual credit classes. We are fortunate enough to have an early college high school on our campus, and we have steadily seen and graduated students earning both their high school degree and an associate degree over the past 3 years. So I would like to see additional funding come our way. And as mentioned before, campus safety is an issue. And so as a non-recurring amount, we'd like to see 11 million dispersed amongst the higher education departments to enhance safety equipment, including access controls, which is actually, we've been proactive and have made that part of our capital outlay request this fiscal year. And those are our priorities for NMSU Grants Campus. Do you have any questions?
How many students do you have in your dual credit program?
This semester, we have about 127 dual credit students.
And does the school district reimburse you for any, are they high school dual credits?
They are high school dual credits. Some of them are homeschooled. like 4. The high school, according to the agreement, the only thing that they pay for are textbooks. However, all of our partners have also agreed to pay the student fees for their dual credit participants, which is actually part of the responsibility of the students and their families. So, for example, Grants Cibola County schools have taken on the burden to also pay those student fees for their students.
Okay, so are all of them getting paid or just some of them?
I think all of our partners, I know Gallup pays them, Pine Hill, Grant Cibola County School, Tohajali, they feel they're that invested in their education that they don't want the student to incur any costs. So they have picked up those student course fees for them.
How many students do you currently have online or doing a 50-50 mix or some type of mix?
We have quite a bit of students that are taking online courses, exclusively online. We're at about 60% of our students, I shouldn't say exclusively, hybrid, and has a face-to-face component, and online about 60%. Where we see our in-person classes are our technical professions, automotive, welding, electrical, allied health, our STEM courses, science, math, and English. Our liberal arts courses and general education and social sciences where we see a lot of the online courses.
Okay. And then let's see, Martinez Hall, go credit, right? How's your nursing program? How many students do you have? What does it look like? Are your slots all full?
Right
are they
now,
graduating on time? And do you accept, are the number of applicants versus the number accepted that you have in the system?
thank you for that question. NMSU Grants partners with NMSU Las Cruces to offer a Bachelor of Science of Nursing. And so our Associate of Science students are matriculate into that Bachelor of Science of Nursing program. Right now, we have 3 cohorts running. Cohorts 1, 3, and 5 will be graduating, I believe, 5 students here in December in the pinning. There are 8 slots open every fall in this program. And last year, we filled every slot. That was the first time since the pandemic that every slot was filled. We work closely with the College of Hest and the School of Nursing to direct students in those fields, provide support. We partner with Cibola General Hospital to provide clinical settings, and they have actually helped us with an instructor who is local, who can work with these cohorts and these students to help get us through, and so that we are essentially growing our own.
So do you think you're going to expand beyond the 8 in the next year?
In the next year, probably not, no, sir. But our goal is definitely, we'd like to expand. We have to expand in 8, so we'd go to 18. They have talked about, because there is attrition, accepting 12 so that we always keep 8. So often we accept 8, but we're graduating 5. Because the nursing program is very rigorous, life happens, sometimes they have to step out. And so if we accept 12 and realize that 8 might graduate, that's the approach that they're going to start, that they may take.
And then what about your social work teachers? Are you having any numbers come up in that? Or what about teachers?
Those are very popular.
Mm-hmm.
Those are very popular programs. We have both the Associate of Education, Associate of Social Work, which is paired with the 4-year degree with NMSU Global and NMSU Online. Those are very popular because we can place them in jobs. Grant Cibola County School right now has several vacancies. They will get jobs upon graduation. And so using the special scholarships from the state, the teacher prep, Students are taking advantage of that, taking advantage of the Opportunity Scholarship. They are stackable, so they can attend school, do their practicums, not having to worry about a job. They have a little bit of financial support. And so we're seeing more students pursuing those fields. We also have a community and counseling associate degree, the only one in the state that transfers to the bachelor's at New Mexico State. And so we're seeing the need of these social type careers here in Cibola County that then they can also go statewide and earn their degree, their bachelor's online and their master's, so they don't have to leave Cibola County.
And so the online is called NMSU Global, so people understand.
Yes.
And so can a person from Grants complete their entire 4-year degree between your campus and NMSU Global?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate that presentation.
Thank you for your time.
Next up, we're gonna have Cibola County Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, good morning, you all. I want to thank the COG particularly for organizing this and getting it together. Senator Munoz and Senator Charlie, county, local, tribal officials and managers and all the support staff that are involved. I want to particularly say that this is an opportunity for some of the local nonprofits and movers and shakers in our community to be able to share with the legislative forum that I know is probably not in capital outlay and those areas, but I sure do appreciate it, and so do all the other groups that I'm involved with. I will have a number of hats on today, so if you could see, this is I have the Chamber of Commerce hat on, so you could go to the next screen there, please. That we're targeting in this area, government results and opportunity program funding of $100,000, but really we'd just like to have your support, in the cooperative marketing, tourism, destination forward grants, and the Route 66 Centennial Grant. So when you see those come across your desk or you're aware of them, say that the Chamber of Commerce and the Grants Mining Museum needs to be on the top of the list, and we sure appreciate that, any type of that support. Next one, please. Oh, that's a duplicate, so something happened. This is just a little bit of fun data, is that, this is the data from the September's report from the Mining Museum. It might be a little difficult to see, but you can see we average nearly 700 every month coming through our doors. Those people come from all over the world. You can see at the bottom of the slide there, United Kingdom, from actually Taiwan, all over the world, and they're spending money in our community. And we appreciate the support of Grants and Milan for anything they can do to continue moving those people through our doors, and that we can work with other groups and around our community. But I'm excited about that, and I think that's going to lead to the next slide that will say the Mining Museum is seeking funding from the Department of Energy to expand our building, just to kind of keep you in the loop so you know what we're doing. It's going to be between a $5 and a $10 million project. Hopefully we'll get that all from DOE and it won't bother anybody from the state, but I need everybody to have that on their radar and be aware of what we're trying to do. And if you see anything in your offices that says, hey, that'll help that Grants Mining Museum, we would really appreciate it. I think it'd be a huge advantage to our community and kind of give us another showcase within our community. Next slide. So if you could see me now, I'd be changing my hat around. The Cibola Trail Alliance is a very active group within our community. Of course, Chad is my son. He's the president, and I'm presenting for him because he's out at the mine today. But the Cibola Trail Alliance is actively building and working on trails. You can go to the next slide, please. Is that we have a total of 19 miles of trails that we have that are actually shovel ready and we're working on. And it was approved in 2020 by the U.S. Forest Service. We've completed all of the studies and everything that needs to be moving along. We've completed about 5 or 6 miles of it by utilizing ancestral lands crews, and most of you are aware of them. That's an indigenous youth group. We target the Nene group, the Zuni, Acoma, and Isleta, and we actually had one group from California come. We also utilize volunteers each Thursday night. And if you're in Grants on Thursday night during the summer, it's probably one of the best places to eat in Grants. So you can see the trail system. It's going to have a huge impact on our community, and we're so looking forward to getting that completed, and we're working on that. Next slide, please. Next slide. There you go. So what we've done is that we have utilized the Trails Plus grant on that, the Outdoor Equity Fund and Outdoor Marketing Grant. So those will be our focus in looking for the trail systems on that movement and moving forward on that. Next one, please. Just so you'll know what we've done is that annually we have a study that says that these trails have already impacted our economy by $1.7 million, bringing it in. Like I said before, we had the Trail Plus grants for $99,000. We've utilized that. We have signage grants. We have about $20,000 of local fundraising. And then our local volunteers have done a little over 2,000 hours of volunteers. So we're going to be reapplying for the Trails Plus grant for $500,000. I have been actively working with Mr. Colonis in that area with Trails Plus, and we're going to work on that for this coming year. And we'd appreciate any kind of support you could shovel our direction. So I think that's the Cibola Trails cap. So within, many of you are aware that a number of years ago, we received the RERC, the Recreational Economies for Rural Communities. And that was an EPA grant, and we had a steering committee within that grant. And as a result of that steering committee, we spun off and created Cibola Outdoors. And Cibola Outdoors is an organization that works within our community. They're all people that volunteer. There's no funding, no paid people or salary on that. You can go to the next slide, please. Is that through the RERC, we came up with data that we've had about 114,000 annual users of our trails. And the unique thing is that like Quartz Hills, it's closed. So we had about 60,000 people on it. So we need to get some help moving that forward with the Forest Service and get it open so that it's legal to use. It's illegal now, but we can't advertise it or have any competitive events on that. But recreation is a clean, fun way to enjoy our communities, and it only brings money into our communities, which is very successful. So you can see right there that 30% of the people are from. It's all right. 30% of the people are from the out of town area. Santa Fe and Albuquerque. So that generates money for our community. Thank you, though, for quick response on the return of the slides. So we pumped in a $1.7 million. You can read that just as well as I can. $240,000 in income. And of course, the GRT is bumped up because of those trail uses. And I think it's worthy to invest in that and move our community forward in that. The next one. So as a result of the Cibola Outdoors, we used some grant money. We created, there's 4 of them. We actually have 6 of those in the work. Itineraries. We have a website, and it's very colorful and vivid how it brings people to our community. We at the Chamber of Commerce and the Mining Museum continually hand out these itineraries for people in our community, and it can only help us and benefit us. And you can see, the people from Akron and Laguna, that we are focusing on some of the historical sites, mountain biking, hiking, and gravel biking. I'm pretty excited about it. And these are our partners that have worked with the Cibola Trail Alliance and with Cibola Outdoors. If your name's not on the list, we would love to have you on there. But we want to especially thank the Cibola Communities or Economic Development. When Eileen was in there, we had a director. We utilized some of the funds that helped us maintain and move forward. And I appreciate all those groups. And I think the last slide's coming up. So the Cibola Outdoors was funded by a LEEDS grant for 2 years. And of course, some of the House Bill 2 junior appropriation monies, that's what kept us alive. And if you can, if you feel so led, we could utilize those fundings, the senators and the representatives that are listening in. That's how we keep moving. And you can see that we have a high return on dollars, and we produce a lot for our community with very little dollars. Yep, you can go to the next one.
Well,
okay, that's good. I sure appreciate everybody's time and efforts, and thank you a lot. If you have any questions, I'm ready.
What about the road to Mount Taylor?
The road to Mount Taylor is on the ICIP, and if we could get some movement on that, that would be great. We need to do some feasibility studies. I think the county had that on their list for a number of years. I think where the political climate might be where we might move in that direction. But I see that would be a huge economic impact to our communities. If we do it appropriately, it'll be a great asset to enhance spiritual activities, and we focus on how it renews your spirit rather than having zip lines and being approached in that manner. If we can get some movement on that, you would see me dance a jig.
Okay, and that is on somebody's ICIP?
It is, yes. I believe Kate, if she's still listening in, it's way down the list, but it is on the ICIP.
I don't have their total ICIP list. I only had a few priorities, so.
Senator, this is Kate Fletcher. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, on the ICIP, it is on the ICIP, but with the first thing we were looking to do is actually get a feasibility study. We've actually started that. I know, Les, do you want to talk about, you have met with Acoma and Laguna, and we really want to make sure that it's even, everybody's going to be on the same page to move over. So I do believe the feasibility study is really important.
I think so. And actually our approach is very important, is that we have to respect, how important that is to many cultures, and that we would never want to be offensive, and that we would want to do things in the appropriate manner where it would benefit all people involved. So, many of you are aware that I have we have letters of support and resolutions of support from McKinley, Rama Chapter House, and then of course the village in Grants and Cibola County. So I think we're on a way moving along, but I think we have a way to go. But let's put that on the list and get moving.
So does Acoma and Laguna have letters of support, or they?
No, I don't. And I've met with, I do not have letters of support.
Yes, we've met with them, Senator, and at the time I met with them 3-4 years ago, we asked for that and we did not receive them.
Okay.
We do have a letter of support from the Forest Service for a feasibility study. And their movement is they would love to be able to transfer any Forest Service road to county road. And so they're in agreement with at least doing a feasibility study, which I think is a great thing.
And this would make the road just as high as Pikes Peak, right?
No, the right term would be the highest paved road or improved road in New Mexico. So not as Pikes Peak. I can look that up, but it's pretty dang close. It would be a huge economic boost to our community.
I mean, it's just economically, outdoor rec is the fastest growing tourist attraction in the state, whatever it is, fishing, hunting, golfing, but outdoor rec is number one. And this is just interesting that you could get that. There is even a plan to get a road up there just to do that. I mean, I just see that demand just skyrocket.
So, and let's clarify something right off the bat. It's not to the top of Mount Taylor. It's out to the top of La Mosca on an existing footprint. So we wouldn't be creating a new footprint. Of course, many of you are well aware that all of the commercial adventures that are on top, all of the towers generate millions of dollars for different groups. So it's already an economic engine sitting on top of La Mosca Peak. And so if we could, keep Mount Taylor sacred, be able to look at it from La Mosca Peak, and I think it'd be a huge economic boost.
Okay, thanks, Les.
Hey,
thank you.
Les, I had a question for you, just for a gratuitous plug. We heard yesterday that on November 19th, the Route 66 Centennial Commission's coming to Grants, I believe, across the street from you all at 515 West High Street, to host about 100 people or so. Would you be able to make this presentation you made this morning? Because I think it's encompassing a lot of the assets that you're building from in terms of tourism, Route 66, outdoor adventure. And I think it would be well received by the commission just to know, what the community's doing. And if, hopefully it's appropriate with my members that you would make this kind of presentation at that event if I could get you on the agenda, which I hope I could do. But if you'd be willing to do that, I would appreciate it because I think this is an important story to tell. And you're an important place on Route 66, as well as everybody on Route 66 would be invited to come and talk about what they're doing to get ready for that event. So anyway, I'll get with you after this, Les.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know what? And then I know right as soon as Denise gets done, we can probably dovetail and do it together. You're going to have the same comments because we can work very well together. I appreciate the invite.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks. Up next, as a segue, we have Grants Main Street.
Hi, everyone. My name is Denise Hanson, and I am the new Executive Director for the Main Street office. I want to thank everyone today for the opportunity to present. In addition, I'd like to thank everyone that has spoken today. It's been a wonderful 4 months in getting to partner and build relationships in the communication and collaboration. As you'll see, has really provided myself and the Main Street office and the community the opportunity to really advance things quickly over the last 4 months. As you'll notice, I highlighted some of the recent murals that we've completed in grants within the Main Street district. I would say that this was really the catalyst of energizing the small business community and everyone throughout grants. We are currently at 13 completed murals within grants, with 7 either in progress murals or murals to be completed, weather providing, but it's really been energizing. You'll see that there's been a lot of momentum, positive momentum on social media, as well as we had a nice write-up in the Santa Fe New Mexican. You'll see in the Route 66 magazine an article regarding our grants, and recently there was an outreach to us to be featured as the main article within the Route 66 magazine. So there's some exciting things going on there. Today, another item that I wanted to share is we were thankfully awarded the Centennial Event Grant. So that will help support the marketing efforts and items supporting the Spokes on 66 car show slated for June 7th of 2025. We do plan, if the opportunity presents itself, to apply for the Centennial Infrastructure Grant to complement some of the initiatives, larger initiatives I'll be speaking to here in just a moment, as well as some potential capital outlay. We did receive our accreditation yesterday from New Mexico Main Street, so it was exciting to see that come to fruition. So I'll pause and see if anyone has any questions with any of that information first. No? Okay. So on the next slide, we did launch the project for the Great Blocks in October. Obviously, we are partnered very closely with the city, as well as, Chris and everything from the project standpoint. We just are in the process where next week we'll be identifying additional funding that we'll need from a design perspective, as well as construction perspective. We will also be launching a survey to get the community more involved in the engagement, as well as I'm tasked with to create a webpage essentially to share about the Great Blocks project within the Main Street district, and then again be able to highlight the next steps and get the community engagement and involvement. At this point, we don't have any asks, I would say, as far as additional funding, because it's still a little bit of an unknown. I didn't want to put Chris completely on the spot, but Chris, if you have any additional updates as far as the funding or anything that you would like to add to this, please feel free to do so. He may not be available. But anyhow, he and Brandon are working to compile that list, and we're to have that early next week. If you want to, Evan, you can advance to the next slide. Was the initial, it is in the ICIP. Again, at this point, we don't have any additional requests until we further review this project. And then on the next slide, this high level provides you the timeline from the kickoff to August, November of next year, where we're aiming to have the draft and the final report. Any questions?
I don't have any.
Okay.
No, thanks.
We're good on the city side.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. Yeah, thanks for that update on Main Street. I did want to just mention, we did have a volunteer for lunch. Wilson and Company was our sponsor. I'm not sure if Chris can give out the sandwiches virtually, but we do thank them for all the work they do in Cibola area and beyond for us. So backed by popular demand, at least with Senator Munoz, we have up next Cibola General Hospital.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, good. Hi. My name is Maria Atencio. Okay, got it? Yes, it's okay now. My name is Maria Atencio. I'm the Chief Nursing Officer for Cibola General Hospital and also the acting CEO right now. Thank you for having us. Thank you for noticing we weren't on the list and giving us the opportunity to scramble and get something together. I do want to just start off with thanking you all for all the work that you have done. The SB 161 monies that we're expecting soon, I hope. That'll be wonderful. Once they get into the bank, we're going to send them right off to pay for our medical malpractice insurance. It'll be gone, but it surely will help us in that fashion. We're also looking forward and actively getting all of our quality regulatory measures in place so that we can take advantage of the full funding of the SB 17, which will help so many hospitals. So again, I thank those that have participated in that. We have 3 legislative priorities, so it's kind of hard to choose them. But the ones that we came up with are our radiology, our X-ray and fluoro room, and we need to renovate and construction for our room. Our fluoroscopy room went out, our equipment's old. It's probably it came from the old hospital, and it went out in March or April. So we've been without it since then. We have looked at trying to repair, bandage it, and it's just not going to happen. So that's one of our asks, and I'll talk about it in a minute. The other is an automatic transfer switch, very important. And then our last one is some laparoscopic equipment that we need. So the first one I'd like to talk to you about is the X-ray and fluoro room. Since that fluoroscopy room went out, we also used it as an X-ray room. Fluoro is used for many diagnostic procedures, and what it does is it allows us to take pictures. It helps us do interventional diagnostic and on many parts of the body. Right now, we're without that capability, but we do have CT, MRI. But a fluoro allows that a physician can do procedures real time. The other thing that this machine does, it allows us to take still pictures just like an X-ray machine, so it has a dual purpose in our facility. It serves, as you can see, the project impacts 100,000 residents, and the total project cost is $501,512. And $90 for the renovations, get it in the room, the electricity, everything that goes with them. So there's our total request for that. Next, please. This just kind of tells you the specs. I think the main applications you can see there can be used for all those areas. But what I want to point out is our increased volume. You can see our X-ray volume from 2021 on up has just increased exponentially. The same with our emergency room. I don't have it here, but our stats for our ER, we pre-COVID, we were seeing about 800 patients a year. And post-COVID, we're closer to, we've doubled. We're at 13, 15, 14. So we've stayed that high since then. That's our first priority that we're requesting. Our second priority is a automatic transfer switch. Again, this is old. We took it from the old hospital and put it into our new hospital. As backups, we have some generators in place, but we really would like to, get these switches so that we have seamless transfer equipment. So if our critical equipment, if our generator, everything goes out, then we don't lose complete power right now, and we have uninterrupted care. Again, it serves all the Cibola and McKinley County. The total project cost for this is $54,138 plus the install, so a total request of $99,138,138. Here's some pictures of our equipment, and this is what we're requesting. What the benefits obviously are: uninterrupted operation, enhanced safety, protection of sensitive equipment. I've given you a few examples of like a GE Fluoro. Once it gets to surge or any of that, all hospital equipment is extremely expensive. So this also will protect our equipment, our beds, our OR equipment, our surgery equipment, etc. And so increased productivity, also regulatory compliance, and it's a huge cost savings. Cody just walked in here. He's our plant operations side director. Here we go.
Hello, everybody.
And he definitely could speak more to the, how important that is to us. Our last one here that we have as a priority is our laparoscopic equipment. Again, that's at end of life. And when the equipment gets that old, and let me go through this here, I guess. We want to replace our laparoscopic surgery tower lights and their satellite units. They go together. And, we want to ensure that we're up to date with technology and ensure reliability. These are 12 years old, are the laparoscopic towers, and the lights are 20, is what I think my OR director said. Yes, 20 years old. And so we really need to, both of those are end of life, and they are no longer maintenance by the companies. They don't have the parts for them. They can't fix them. We have Biomed in-house, and Cody and his team do an awesome job for us trying to keep everything up and running. But if you can't get parts for them, then you're in trouble. So the ask of the total here is $279,766.05. So that's for light, tower, satellite, and the install. Next, please. Upgrading this will ensure that we continue to provide the highest standard of care for our community. And as technology advances, we can make sure that our outdated equipment can become, it's prepared, it's ready to go all the time. Here also shows our surgery volume, our increases year over year, and we hope to continue to increase and be able to serve as many people as we can. This proactive approach helps us prepare for the future, but also ensures that we're providing safe and quality care for our patients. Next slide. That's it. I got a little nervous at the beginning, so I didn't really tell you guys about our hospital. So I do want to go back and just tell you a little bit about our hospital. We're a 25-bed critical care hospital, and we have with one rural health clinic and a specialty clinic. We've been serving the community since 1959. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we're independently owned and deeply committed to our community and our surrounding areas. We're happy to be serving all these patients, all our new patients. What else I wanted to say was that today we operate a modern 50,000 square foot facility. We're equipped to handle a large range of services like general surgery, obstetrics, pediatric dentistry, podiatry, radiology. We are a full service hospital. We also have a rural health clinic, and our clinic we have just right here on campus and then just adjacent to us. And in our rural health clinic, we house orthopedics, cardiology, and behavioral health. We recently are partnering with Pignon Perinates, and that's for the high-risk pregnancy. So our OB patients that are traveling from Gala can see the specialist here in our clinics. They come once or twice a month. And recently we've made another partnership with High Desert Nephrology from Gala, and they too come here to our clinic. They come twice a month so that all our dialysis and renal patients that are here don't have to travel to Gala, Albuquerque, wherever to see a nephrologist. So we're very happy to have those partnerships. Under the guidance of our local board and trustees, we are our consulting firm. We have a management support consulting firm of Quorum. They used to be called Quorum. They're now called Ovation. And we're happy to be here. We're happy to be able to provide for all. This is just thank you for letting us serve and taking the time to hear what we have to say. We'd love to answer any questions that you might have.
So let me ask you this. On Senate Bill 161, you're going to get roughly $9 million for 2 years.
We're going to get 4. We're not getting the full $9 million. We're getting 4. The $3 million that we asked for this year is going to go, our insurance, our medical mal is $4 million, and our $3 million will go straight to paying our medical mal that's due now, when we get it.
So I'm looking at the bill right now, but it says 4.5 million.
Yeah, we're going to get 1.5?
4.5.
Yes, we're asking for the 3 this year because it's over 2 years, and we're asking for the $3 million this year, and then they told us we need to separate it in 2 years. So we're asking for the bulk now, and then we'll take the next over next year.
And so did you, because this was for your medical mal. So did your medical mal, what is it cost you this year?
$4 million.
Okay. And so are you going to be able to maintain that?
We hope so.
Well, no, I need to know. We're going into legislative session. If you can't maintain
Are
the
we going to
medical
be able
mal,
to maintain that? No, this is just a Band-Aid to help us pay for our medical malpractice this year. We did not ask for we could ask for the whole 4. We're asking, I believe our first ask is like 3 or 3.5 because they did during the SB 161, when we were doing the request, they said that we need to split it in 2 years. And so we asked for the majority to pay for that. We'll pay the rest and have that other to help us with the next year because we don't know when those SB 17 funds were going to get to us. And it's not sustainable. No, it's not sustainable.
So when Thomas was there, he said it cost him $4 million. So if we subsidize that for 2 years, that should help you get ahead and build some cash to get ahead of your medical mal.
That's the plan.
Okay. And then
But
out
we
of
still
7,
will have that price tag every year of the $4 million
I know,
for
but
medical malpractice.
if you only have to pay 50% of it and the state's picking up the other 50%, you have a 50% savings. So you're building a cushion over a 2-year time frame or a 1-year time frame, however you want to book it. So that subsidizes you by whatever for the medical mail. Then how much are you supposed to get out of 17?
The estimate is in 2025 or 26, I believe 8 over some time period. I don't know. I haven't seen any numbers recently. That's quite honestly, that's from when Tom was here. So I cannot give you, I can't give you a correct answer because I don't know. I have been involved in the SB 17, program regulatory measures and when it starts, etc. But what our return to our hospital is, I don't know. I know it's a big general pocket pool right now, but what Cibola General Hospital is getting, I don't know. Do you have that number?
I don't know how they calculate that, right? I know you're eligible. And
We are, yes.
Right. It's going to generate a whole lot of money in the billions. But I need to know how much you're going to get out of it. So we understand that you guys, if I need to help you again in subsidizing your medical mail or some other place, that we can get that operating under control. But surely by now they would have assigned numbers to you guys that they think you're going to get in Cibola.
The estimated numbers that I heard were 8 million, but I do not know what else time frame that is over. And that was when Tom was here. I definitely can, my CFO is out, he's on a vacation right now. And so I can definitely investigate if he has more firm numbers. And then I can relay them to you. I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I go to your hospital. I don't go to RMCH and Gallup. And so you got to be, everybody's moving into your area. So I have to stabilize you and make sure that you're in operational capacity because of what's happening in Gallup with RMCH. And it's a mess. And so in order for us not to fly to Albuquerque at $70,000 a flight, if we have something cut off our finger or whatever, we can go to you guys and stitch us up and they won't fly us out at 70,000. So my goal is to make sure that you're stable enough that when you see those influxes, just like you said, you saw the double number increase, right? That you're stable enough in our area to handle some of that. I'm not going to say you're handle heart attacks because they're going to fly those out, but some of the other stuff that we can kind of handle, but we got to figure out how to stabilize you and in what capacity that's going to be. And I know you're the acting, and I don't mean this in any mean way. I just got to ask questions because if I don't know, then I can't help. And
no,
so
I understand that.
Yeah, don't take it, but I got to figure out how to stabilize you and get you the right amount of money and make sure that you can operate the way you need to operate. So when your numbers double, like we've seen in the last year or two, that you're able to still make sure that your core base in Cibola is served and that the additional push from wherever McKinley County or rural parts outside of there that doesn't have that you can handle that and that we're not forced to go into Albuquerque and your people, the people in Cibola are not forced to go into Albuquerque. And so I need to know those numbers and I need to know them like yesterday. And
okay, the SB 17 numbers I'll get to you. How can do you have your contact here and I'll get those to you today. I'll try and reach out to a couple of people that I know and I'll get the SB 17.
You don't have to get them today, but just reach out to the hospital association and make sure that your numbers, and then run your numbers so I know, like, if I need to throw another 2 million or something in there to figure out what you need. I mean, it's nice to have capital in maintenance, but have you applied for any of the hospital equipment money that's available to replace this equipment?
No.
Okay. That's something, there's a fund for hospital equipment and we can help you do that. But I'll give you my cell number. It's no big hidden secret. My cell number is 505-721-0019. But But I mean,
Did you get it?
those are some of the things I don't mean to be, they're just tough questions I need to know because we can't operate in crisis. We have to operate in
Absolutely.
advance. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I will tell you, your staff and everybody does a great job. I mean, me, my wife, my kids, we'd rather spend 2 hours in the car than be flowing to Albuquerque for something else that they can't service us in Gallup or even MRIs. It's just, and your advertising is working, it seems like. Because even I have friends from Carlsbad and they can't get in for an MRI. I said, go to Grants, you get one in a day. And they're like, they drive over there and they get one and then they're done. And so you guys run a good hospital. I just need to make sure that you have the capacity to serve your community and any expansion and influx that you do. So you can tell your staff, I really think they're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I
So-
will share with the staff. You do have great staff.
So Maria, could you just spend one moment and tell us, like, Maggie and the psych services that you have? Because I know that's supposed to be on our radar coming up.
I'm sorry, say what now?
Could you tell us about the psych services like that Maggie and them present for you that have available?
Of course, thank you. Thank you, Liz. We do have a behavioral health. We did a community assessment a couple of years ago. That was number one on our community assessment. We were fortunate enough to recruit 2 nurse practitioners that are behavioral health nurse practitioners that can prescribe medications, etc. We have 1 therapist, and of course that's not enough. 1 therapist is not enough, and constantly recruiting. And we also here within the hospital have crisis call. We have coverage from 7:30 in the morning to 10 at night during the week. And then on weekends, we do 8 to midnight for crisis call. We don't have enough. As you guys know, behavioral health is a big issue. And we probably do 30 to 40 behavioral health crisis calls through our ER alone. Last month, we also did a record high of about 300 patients in our behavioral health clinic. So, but that's what we do have available. And as you guys know, our local psych just recently, Dr. begins with a W, has left our community. So that has left a lot of patients looking for providers. I just had a couple of our staff come in, and if you don't mind, I'd like them to introduce themselves. And so if you guys have specific questions about what I've presented to you, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Cynthia Tenna. I'm the sparkle behind the PowerPoint and some of the marketing.
Lost without her.
Yeah, I'm Sean Reese. I'm the Chief Procurement Officer here at the hospital.
Isaac, I run the radiology department. As Maria introduced me a while ago, Cody Chavez, operations.
These guys are all essential to our operations. Do you have any questions for them?
I don't, but if you're wrapped up, we're going to jump right into behavioral health. I think, is that the end of the presentation?
Yes, Senator.
Yes.
We're gonna turn off the recording, Senator, and turn it over to you on those 3 topics. I believe you wanted to talk about behavioral health, mines, and prisons.
Okay.